What's up, guys? Queen of Hooks here. I have with me Anonymous and Dazza. How are you guys today?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having us. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Considering I'm doing very good. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to get some stuff set up here, but I'm trying to get the chat open so I can see. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, Dazza.
I hope
Yep.
you can hear us out there. But okay, I just want to start off by saying that I'm doing this hangout because on multiple occasions, my name and my channel have been basically attacked for no reason whatsoever, besides the fact that I post climate change information and the other channel is posting information about an ice age. I don't troll anybody. I don't comment on people's stuff. I don't directly debunk people. I try to be as nice as possible and I stay out of drama. A few weeks back, I ended up being rushed to the hospital. I had to have surgery to have my ovary removed, and I came home a week later. All hell had broke loose. So I really, I got caught up on everything that happened. And then right now, I'm still not involved in anything, but my channel is still being talked about. So if my channel is going to be talked about, then I'm going to give a reason for it to be talked about. I have avoided debunking this stupid ice age crap for months on end just because I don't like drama. But if you want to put me in a part of something, then fine. I can do it. I have no problem doing it. And then I have Anonymous and Paul here with me. I'm hoping to have uh, the Unvarnished Truth come. He says that he gets off work at 5:30 my time. So he should be joining us in a little while. But Dave, is there anything you would like to say? I feel like a lot has been going on in this community lately, and people are being blocked from expressing themselves. There's only been one side of stories. So if there's anybody listening in the chat, if you got something you'd like me to say, let me know. We'll get all of it out, air it all out. And then, in my opinion, this stuff needs to die. People want attention, whether it's good or bad. So it's best to ignore people like that. So, Dazza?
Yeah. Well, of course, last night there was a hangout. Now, I guess we're going to hit this head on. So, I had a discussion with Jake, and that was the response, or his hangout was response as a result of the discussion that we had. Now, his rant that he had, his hangout, which I think was called Trash, if I remember correctly, was a result of the discussion we had after I sent him a private message simply asking him directly about a video that he uploaded parodying Logan Runnin'. And in that video, it appeared. Now, that video had been sent to me, by the way, and somebody said, oh, look, here is Jake defending the physicist. So I went and watched the video, and although I could see that Jake was clearly mocking Logan Runnin', that's what the video was about, he also seemed to be defending the physicist. he seemed to be saying that her work was for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken seriously. Now, he made that point. Yeah, he made that point about it being for entertainment purposes only several times in that video.
Wow.
He really seemed to be laboring that point, and it seemed to me that he was saying, you know, it's all just a joke. Don't take it seriously. It's, you know, it's not fear mongering. It's just for entertainment purposes only. That is the way the video came across to me, just as somebody had said to me when they sent it to me. So I sent Jake a private message and asked him to you know, give his side of the story, basically. And the result of that, as has happened several times before whenever I've asked Jake to explain something to me, and you know, I should point out that in going to him directly, I think I'm actually doing the right thing instead of jumping to conclusions, talking about him, making judgments on him or whatever. Instead, I went to him directly and I asked him. So I'm just scrolling up in my message thread so I can read exactly what I said. I said to him, "Hi, Jake. I haven't had time to watch the videos, so maybe I've missed something to give me the context, but I've just seen your video parodying Logan. Are you defending the physicists as just being entertainment or telling the truth?" And anyway, basically, as usual, I got my head bitten off. Jake doesn't like being questioned, even though I was going to him directly and trying to do the right thing. To be fair, he did apologize a couple of times, even during his hangout. But the fact is that this should have never happened.
Right.
And the hangout that he did should never have happened.
Yeah.
And you know, as we discussed earlier, a lot of the things that he said in that hangout of other people is actually true of himself. And maybe you guys want to expand on that. But I do feel that they're quite hypocritical. You know, he has been talking about this energy siphon recently and the negativity and all the rest of it. So he says, you know, we're not doing this negativity anymore. We've had enough of it. We've had enough of the energy siphon. And then what does he do straight away after talking to me? He gets straight onto a live stream and he starts attacking people, including me. Now, I listened into that live stream. I probably missed the first few minutes. But, and then I heard him say, yeah, and you know, I've got Dazzathecameraman on my ass and all the rest of it. So that's where I jumped into the chat. And, you know, he very quickly blocked me so that I had no right of reply. But, you know, there he was saying that they've had enough of all the negativity and all the rest of it. That's what he said to me in the private chat before he went on air. And then the next minute, he's on a live stream dissing Dazzathecameraman and everyone else. So, of course, I was going to jump in and look at myself. Yeah. So, guys.
You know, that's the problem. They talk and mouth about everybody, and then they block them so they can't reply back. It's the exact same thing Scott Cohn does as well. You know, they take the chicken out, they take the easy way out, able to run their big mouths.
Yeah.
You know, I also, sorry, Tiff, but I also a few days ago received 2 privacy strikes for I had mirrored a video that Logan Running had done, and actually I did counter those and I didn't receive the privacy guideline strikes. But then the very next day I had received a copyright strike on a video live hangout with Jake and Mari, Dazza and Lee, and I got a copyright strike for that there. Now, the only reason why I had mirrored that video was because Dazza was on there and I wanted to listen to what was being said about them. And I received a copyright strike for that. Now, I'm yet to counter it. I'm still thinking about it. I have some time left and I will be discussing it further. And I'll make my decision in the next day or two, but I probably will counter it.
Now, this is what bothers me. We've been doing this, I know myself, for about a year. So one of the biggest problems that has been said about Scott from them is it doesn't give people a voice. You can't ask a question, you're immediately blocked. He calls people trolls because they don't believe it, and because they make videos about it, and this is YouTube, and people can do whatever they want on YouTube, and if you're on the internet, you should be able to take critiquing. And as soon as somebody says something, the first thing they do is get on camera and scream and fuck people and fuck you and all this kind of shit. But then they're striking people for harassment and bullying. They tried to get my video this morning, the Lily Allen video, where they sent a complaint or whatever about it. And the only thing that YouTube did was put an age restriction on it. It is a music video. So you can tell what they're trying to do. It's very obvious. It's being petty and being negative and being assholes, but calling and playing victim to circumstances that they are creating. Yeah. They are doing this to themselves. When they were not around, this community was quiet. We didn't fuss with each other. We didn't argue with each other. We all came together, no matter if we was in the same groups or not, and we did debunking. We did debunking for a long time. They come back in the picture, drama, 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 drama. That's it. It's very obvious that it is all entertainment to them. And they're very emotional and they just want to scream and holler at everybody. But don't call me Scott, but you're acting like Scott. Now, I don't say anything to them. I don't debunk them directly. I don't do any of that stuff. So what is the point of talking about my channel? That is what Scott does.
Yeah, I think the big issue that they've got with you, of course, Tiffany, is that your videos, even though you haven't debunked them directly at all, your videos are contradicting the message that they're sending on their channel, and they don't like it. Yep. And so,
and this is my channel. I can do that if I want to. Isn't that what we said? What we all said about Scott getting mad about us?
Yeah.
I don't watch their videos. I don't watch their videos at all. The only video of theirs I've watched is the video of Valentina Zarkova. That's it. So I'm not debunking them directly. If I wanted to, which I'm going to do, if I wanted to do that, I would do that, just like we do with Scott. You would point out what is wrong. I'm educating on my channel. That's what I'm doing. I'm educating about climate change. And they're going to say, well, you have an interview and it's only a text interview. Well, Dr. Strong has retired from YouTube. He's tired of this crap. He was debunking climate change and Nibiru for years. I can't even make it through all of this man's videos. He is the one who debunks suspicious observers.
Yeah.
He does not want any part of this, but he wants people to know. So he agreed I email him the questions and he send me the answers. Short and to the point. These people, same thing with Brian Coberline. Brian Coberline does not care about this stuff. I don't bother him unless I have something that I really need an answer for. That's the only time, because these scientists are tired of these people. They're hindering progress. And these scientists are tired of having to defend their work that has been peer-reviewed for some inventor over here who thinks he knows everything.
Exactly.
I've got a folder open right now when I present my screen because I'm going to show the fear-mongering that he is doing and the lies that he is telling. This is bullshit.
Just before you do that, Tiffany, I just want to say, like, before I came in and after I came into this community, I didn't know WTF's guy. I had nothing to do with them. I just knew they were part of the truthers community. But mirroring your videos on climate change, it was then that I heard Jake's rant, mirroring your videos, and that's the reason why they started to pick on me.
And see, I haven't. The only thing I heard was like 20 minutes of that last night. I caught. It's like it was meant for me to click it because what I caught was about my channel, and that's all I listen to. I really don't care about that stuff. You know what I mean? So none of the other things, like you told me, you know, they're talking about you. You know, while you were gone, they was talking. Before I left, before I got sick, you told me, oh, they're talking about you.
Yeah.
It's gone. And then while I'm in the hospital, they're talking about me. And now I'm home and they're talking about me. For what? I know why. Because I have real evidence on my channel from scientists. If you think that being in front of a camera makes your information more credible, there's something wrong with you. If you think that I have to speak in my videos in order for my evidence to be relevant, then there's something wrong with you. I rarely do these hangouts and stuff. I am a writer and a researcher. If I wanted to be in front of a camera, I would have been a singer. I have stage fright. I hate doing stuff like this. I prefer being behind the scenes. When I work in music, I work behind the scenes. I sing on my videos when the urge hits me because I love to sing. But being in front of a camera doesn't make it correct. And then they have John Casey, a man who claims he worked for NASA or the government. None has been verified. He has shown no credentials whatsoever. Even the other climate skeptics call him a fraud. They said he came into this for money. Even D-Small Blog and Skeptical Science don't even care enough about this guy to tell people, because everybody knows he's a fraud. This place, this website, this world-renowned, he is the sole person that works there. He's full of it. Everybody knows he's full of it. And then you have Valentina come on, and Valentina is saying one thing, and then they're interpreting her words in a completely different way. She didn't say we were in a grand solar minimum now. A grand solar minimum has been predicted. So they're on their channel now, floods and extreme weather and all that kind of stuff, which I was doing that. All this kind of stuff. And now they're blaming it on the grand solar minimum that has not happened yet. Cosmic rays do not cause extreme weather. If it did, every solar minimum, it would happen. And during solar maximum, it would not happen. Because we're protected. This logic makes absolutely no sense to me. We are in the lowest cycle in 100 years, meaning cycle 14. Between cycle, some say 14 and some say 12. That's where we're at. None of this stuff that's happening now with our climate was happening then. They're misrepresenting Jasper Kirby's work. He is a climate change believer. You watch his videos, and in the papers, it says that it will sharpen the prediction for the rise in temperature. They are trying to get it as accurate as possible. That project has nothing to do with cosmic rays and climate. It says that it is too small to do anything. They also leave out the fact that before, when the modern minimum, during the Little Ice Age, it was cold. It began in the 1300s, so it was already cold. So you cannot compare that to our temperature today when it was already caused. It was caused by volcanoes. There are studies that have been done on this already. I have put that stuff out there. Only thing I'm doing is trying to educate people. If you want to believe a lie, believe it, but don't get mad when other people are trying, when I'm trying to show people the real evidence. That is a really, really big problem for me. My biggest problem is hindering progress. We can do something about climate change. I feel like everybody just wants to die. You guys get that sense from some of these people, like they just want to die?
Yep. Yep, this seems to be the motivation behind the whole Nibiru Planet X pole shift, and there's a few other conspiracies you could throw in there as well. Logan Runnan was the same way. Now I'm not dissing Logan at all. Logan was a real believer in Nibiru Planet X, and you know, we went backwards and forwards. He believed that he was seeing Nibiru in the sky, which of course was Venus, and it took some convincing to Logan that it was in fact Venus. And the breakthrough moment was when he borrowed a phone off a friend and installed a sky app on it to actually check what the object was he was looking at. Now, it was quite funny because at first, when he checked it, he said, no, it's definitely not Venus, because Venus is supposed to be over there behind him or wherever it was. And anyway, I said to Logan, sounds like you haven't set your location correctly. You know, because you have to set your location in those astronomy apps on your phone. They don't just automatically know where you are straight off.
Yeah.
And so, oh. And so he set the location, and then he pointed the phone at the object he thought was Nibiru, and sure enough, it was Venus. And that was a breakthrough. That was a breakthrough moment. The penny dropped for Logan, and he realized that Dazzathecameraman wasn't lying to him as he thought I was.
Yeah.
And and then that was where he really, that's where I really made a breakthrough with him, and he realized that this whole Nibiru Planet X thing was just a load of rubbish. And but the interesting thing that followed after that was that his whole purpose seemed to have suddenly disappeared, and he found himself in this void, this rather dark void where he had no purpose. He was actually living for the end of the world. And
right.
Yeah, that's exactly as it was. I'm not exaggerating, because we actually talked about it. He was actually living for the end of the world, and and that was taken away from him. And for a while there, he was foundering. He was trying to figure out what he was going to do with himself. And then, you know, it was good, because then we saw that he was debunking through Planet X and similar sort of nonsense. So there was actually a very good turnaround.
Sorry.
Trying to figure out what.
Sorry about that. My speaker just decided to come on by itself. I think I have a ghost. Go ahead. Sorry.
Trying to figure out what.
Sorry about that. Oh my God. To come
it's still going. Has somebody got
this? Don't know what's happening.
It's not me. Actually, Dazza, that's the first time I've heard that story.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize what actually had been that way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, something is happening here. I don't know what it is, but it's repeating. I don't know what's going on.
What actually had been that way?
Yeah.
Hey guys. Can you guys hear me? Okay, something is happening here. Oh my God.
Yeah, I can hear. Let me check all of my feeds.
I'm good here.
Yeah, it's not coming from me.
Hey guys. You guys hear me?
Okay, something is happening here.
Oh my God. What?
I can hear. Let me check all of my feeds.
So Hans went haywire. Have you seen Dazza shortly after the solar eclipse? Did you see any of the chat on Scott's channel? Claiming that they've seen Nibiru at 6, 7, and 8 o'clock.
Actually, one of the good things that has come out of this solar eclipse, and we saw the same thing here in New Zealand back in 2012, was that, you know how you get that secondary reflection of the sun that people think is Nibiru?
Yeah.
Okay, so during the partial eclipse, you end up with a crescent-shaped secondary reflection of the sun.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, which actually proves that it's a reflection of the sun.
And they're also now claiming that NASA had set the whole thing up, and the eclipse actually didn't happen.
Yeah, I saw that.
They got a video up right now, right? Did you guys see it?
No,
Sorry?
I haven't seen it. I saw the titles in the in my email notifications about that NASA had faked the eclipse. I thought that's just hilarious.
Oh yes, it's fake. It was.
Yeah.
There are some gullible people.
What's funny is it was predicted a long time ago. So what they're saying when they say it was fake, they're saying that all this time ago they knew the future, and they knew they would have the technology. All this. I can't even finish that statement. It is, what the hell? I know where they're doing it because nothing was seen. There was no Nibiru, so they have to try to cover their ass for why nothing was seen. And these brown dwarfs that just are invisible to everyone.
Mm.
That's why that was.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, you know. But we knew to expect this afterwards anyway. So
yeah,
it's nothing new for us. You know, we knew it was going to happen, but you know, some of the conspiracy stories running around the web now is ridiculous.
Even after I did the video with the moon, there's still people saying that it wasn't the moon while looking at the moon.
Yeah, so if it wasn't the moon, it had to be Nibiru. But I just want to.
It's supposed to be much bigger. They don't think about that. If Nibiru is 4 times the size of Earth, then that shadow, the eclipse, it would cover the whole planet, wouldn't it? Or at least it has to, right?
Well, it would depend on the distance away from the Earth as to its apparent size.
The moon is pretty tiny compared to 4 times the size of Earth.
Yeah, it's about the quarter of the size of the Earth.
So, Dazza, what was the flat earthers thinking then of the solar eclipse? Because everything happened bang on time.
Yeah,
and the way it was predicted. So, what statements are they making now about the solar eclipse from a flat Earth perspective?
Well, to be honest, I haven't caught up on too many of the videos. I know that some of them believe that the eclipses are caused by something that they call Rahu or something like that. Now, it's interesting. I saw just last night before I went to bed, somebody had used one of the typical flat Earth maps that we see all the time. Now, in saying that, it's funny because I have to be careful that I don't say the official flat Earth map, because whenever I say that, then I have all the flat earthers on my back saying there is no official flat Earth map, even though a lot of them actually have that very same map as their avatar. But anyway, somebody had plotted the path of the shadow on this flat Earth map, and it obviously contradicted their model for the orbit of the sun above the flat Earth disk. It just made a nonsense of their model. So, yeah. And Anthony Riley was planning to film the partial eclipse from Holyhead in UK. And I said to him, I'm pretty sure that you'll find that you won't be able to see it because of that. It's going to be so low down on the horizon. It's probably going to be obscured by cloud and all the rest of it. And sure enough, the weather was actually pretty bad. So it's a shame he didn't get to film the partial eclipse from his location.
It was, to be fair, the weather all over the UK was pretty bad. Like even where I lived, the whole day it was just cloudy, miserable, damp. You know, and I would have seen the same of the eclipse had it been bright skies that Anthony would have seen. I would have seen the exact same thing as him. And yeah, basically, even up north in Scotland was the exact same. You know, the whole of the UK was just miserable.
Right.
Worth watching. You know, it's not something you see very often, you know, but it was definitely something worth watching. And the next one is 2024, I believe, over the States again. Yeah.
Yep, 7 years away.
I get in the path of totality for that one. I wasn't, it was 97, so I didn't get to see the full eclipse. I was sitting outside with the laptop looking at SLU with the full eclipse while watching mine. It was a great experience, though. It was definitely a great experience.
Honestly, I can't even remember when the last one was here in the UK, you know. When was the last one you had that?
Simon Says has a question. I think he just got here, so he didn't get to hear what you were saying at the beginning, Dazza. He says, what are your thoughts on Jake apologizing to you and then telling you to go fuck yourself?
Yeah, well, that's about right too. And he also apologized to me a couple of times in the private chat on Facebook, but then did the same thing basically. Well, not basically, he did. He told me to go fuck myself. In fact, the last message that he sent me on Facebook before he blocked me was fuck you. So I see he's actually... He seems to have unblocked me on Facebook. I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to see if I'd posted anything about him on Facebook. But since he's unblocked me, he actually had the opportunity to come back since the last 12 hours. You know, it's the next morning here, but getting a lot of feedback, unfortunately. But
he did the same thing to all of us when we were debunking Lee in the beginning. See, what people don't understand is we've already debunked Lee. We did that very thoroughly. And then we were blocked and kicked out and all that good stuff. Well, I was, because obviously I'm not a free human being and I can't go on somebody else's channel and talk about climate change. I think they were mad because me and Tweety was laughing about that $10 letter.
Yeah. Jake could have actually come back to me and apologized since his Hangout. He knows that I try to be very fair. And as I've said before, I've even said on a Hangout with Jake and Mari previously that I do try to remain as neutral as possible with the different truthers. I know that there's been a lot of stuff that's gone down between the different groups. And I've tried to maintain a position where we keep our focus on debunking the fearmongers and so on.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, when you're being attacked like that, and, you know, I get my head ripped off just because I went to him privately and asked him directly so that he could try and explain to me from his side what his motivation was for that video, which seemed to be supporting or defending the physicist, Claudia. But instead I get my head bitten off and told, you know, go fuck yourself and all the rest of it.
All you have to do is say no, Dad. You could have ended at that.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally uncalled for. And I told Jake that there's no call for that sort of response.
You're echoing.
And, you know, yeah, I'm going to try and in case it's me, okay?
Yeah, Dazza, you're in and out. I can't really hear you very well.
Okay, I'll try and rejoin.
Well, you're I was getting a little bit of an echo from you, Paul.
From
I don't
me.
think so. Well, while he's joining in, let me do my screen share and show some of these good old screenshots that I have here.
Can you hear me okay now, Tiff?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I don't sound too echoey?
No?
Brilliant.
Well, it was when Dazza was talking, he was echoing on you. Yeah. You don't have the chat open, do you?
I do, yep.
And can you guys see my screen in the chat? Can you guys see it?
No.
Can you see it, Paul?
No, I cannot see it.
I can see it.
Okay.
You can see it? You don't see it, Paul?
No, it says this video may be inappropriate for some users.
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
You might want to change it to present to everyone, because whenever anyone else talks, it means that your screen disappears, Tiffany. So if you present to everyone, that'll stay on screen.
Okay. What about now?
I can see it now, and it's staying on screen while I talk, and estimate from 70 to 90% will starve.
Yes, I blocked this stuff out, so I won't have to worry about privacy, even though he uses his name. They made sure that, you know, that face right there, I don't like to see that. So, yeah. Okay, this is fear-mongering. That is fear-mongering, right? Hold on.
You need to go back to presenting.
There it is. Can you see it?
No.
No.
No? Jesus Christ, then. It should be presenting. Still don't see it?
No.
It was just there.
I have to say, to be fair, that a statement is only fear-mongering if it's not true. If you can be sure that the statement is true, I don't think it's fear-mongering. And
I think it's fear-mongering when you're saying this is going to happen because of an ice age that is not true.
Exactly.
From what's come, the reason that he's saying this, what he's saying is going to happen is an ice age, which is not true. Climate change is doing some damage. It is going to keep doing some damage unless we do something about it. But I'm not going to tell people they're going to die from information that's not, you know, this. How does he know this? Where is he getting this information from?
That's a good question.
There is no, where, you know, they talked about my channel, okay? On my channel are scientists. That's what I present to people because they are the experts. I don't need to pretend to be a climatologist or an expert or a solar physicist because there are people out there who have worked very, very hard to get us this information. So I think that people should hear it from them. You know what I mean? So on their channel, where only thing is Zarkova, that's it. They're misrepresenting Kirkby by showing a lecture from 2011. None of the videos that I showed were from 2014, 15, and 16, where he says that climate change is real. We're still warming, and their project, the Cloud Project, will help sharpen the prediction. That is what's called misrepresenting somebody's work. So why talk about my channel when it's scientists, when the only thing you have on your channel is this guy and his opinions? And he doesn't know what he's talking about. He said, I don't know why it's not presenting, but I'll just read it off and I'll make a video about it later. Just let me get it. In fact, cold to warm records were broken 18-1. Cold records broke into every warm record. And he's saying that cold records are happening more than warm, and that is an outright lie.
That's absolute nonsense. I mean, even here in New Zealand,
5-1. The last one, the most recent I've seen is heat records 5-1. And see, I don't have to. I am gonna see if I can present my other window. I don't know why my photo thing is acting weird. But I'm gonna let me go back to presenting. Because unlike a lot of people, can you guys see this?
it flicked up for about a quarter of a second.
Oh,
yeah,
why does this?
I see it.
You see my thing. Okay, I started this in February. Here, I have evidence for what I say. This is what I'm calling a database for climate change information. Right here, I say it just updated on the 1st, but I just did it again right before we got on, so I can go to this stuff without trying to go through my emails and all that, having tons of windows open. But in this blog, I have tons of information for climate change from actual scientists. I don't have a guy who's saying this is going to happen. Right here in 2016, the cold to warm was 4-1. Now it is 5-1. There it is right here. Cold records, 5-1. I put my information in my description. I give people information that they can go look for themselves, because this is the internet. This is YouTube. Just because you're on YouTube does not mean that people should just automatically believe what you say. It doesn't work like that. I was tricked already before. Why am I going to be tricked again? I did not listen to what the scientists were saying. They said NASA is hiding this stuff from us. I was very angry. And then when I snapped out of it, all of a sudden, this comes up, and I researched it. I was looking into a completely different ice age than they were looking into in the first place. I was listening to lectures and stuff from Randall Carlson. Randall Carlson is talking about something different. And then once I found out what they were talking about, when I saw what Lee was presenting, I took his information and I researched it. When I researched it, I saw it was crap. So I'm supposed to just believe it just because they believe him? That doesn't make any sense. Call me a flip-flop. I'm a flip-flop. So all of us who stopped believing in the Nibiru, as you guys know, we're all flip-flops. Whenever an intelligent person will always change their mind with evidence. When new evidence presents itself, you don't just say no. Just like the video I put up of Neil deGrasse Tyson the other day. He said, when people were saying, I don't believe E=mc². He said, you don't have that option. You don't have that option. It is real. No matter what you say, no matter how many times you try to misrepresent these scientists, their information is true. Now, what really, usually I ignore the stuff that they say because I don't care. But last night, what made me angry was he said, that's not research, folks. Now, you guys all know, and they know. That's the funnier part. Tiffany was the best researcher and should be paid when she agreed with them. Now, you've seen so far how far I went down this page. This is so far all the information I have on climate change.
That's excellent work there, Tiffany. You've
It's
you're certainly
honest. You know what I'm saying? I put a lot of work in this stuff. You know what I mean?
Very thorough.
I researched my ass off.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd, and a lot of people would not like my boyfriend goes in the living room and watch TV because I'm a documentary person. I like to watch lectures and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff that I like to do. So I'm not going to present information on my channel that I haven't watched already. Everything that I post, I watch. I still have tons of lectures. You know what I mean? I put this stuff out where people can see for themselves. I'm not going to just get on my channel and say, this is what it is. You are being duped. Now, what were they saying about Scott using NASA data but not trusting NASA?
This is the NASA tools that's available on the website, but then NASA's fake as fuck, basically, you know.
And NASA says that climate change is happening. NASA says that we're not going into an ice age. They are doing the same conspiracy crap that Scott is doing, except on a different subject. Now, I was all for, I'm going to be honest, I was all for that chat when they started it up. You remember we was talking, Daz, and you asked me, how was I with Jake and Maury? I said, I'm fine. Bygones be bygones, right? So what bothered me, it was all good, you know, people coming in, but then it went from Nibiru support chat to Nibiru Planet Grand Solar Minimum.
Yeah.
So they bringing people in and just giving them a new version of crap. And then when I saw that about Jasper Kirkby, I know about Jasper Kirkby because I watch all this stuff. So, you know, I spoke to you guys and I was like, you know, he's tricking them. I feel like they're being tricked all over again. I said, this is sad. You know what I mean? And then I messaged AL and I said, he's lying to them. Can, you know, you're good with them. Can you just say something? He said he didn't want to get involved. You know what I mean? So for weeks, I kept saying, I am going to lose my mind if he keeps misrepresenting Jasper Kirkby's work. And eventually, I wake up in the morning, there is a video in my recommended list that is from him, from a nature podcast. For me, that was my empath intuition. That was synchronicity saying, you need to put this out there. And what they did was to go over to the anonymous channel and basically call me a liar and say it was misleading. He commented, Mr. Wheelbarger commented on the video and would deleting it. He called me fake news. Said he called Jasper Kirkby, and Jasper Kirkby said he didn't give you an interview. So when did I said I interviewed Jasper Kirkby? He deleted that one. Didn't put another comment. You're a liar. Don't call me a liar. I am very thorough. It was a nature podcast. So I made another video. And when I said I was going to make them, you don't got to do that. Yes, I do. Because you called me a liar. You cannot think that you can talk about people any kind of way and they're not supposed to respond. See, this is the problem here. They want to say whatever they want to say and play victim, and nobody is supposed to respond. When you respond, you're trolling them. Bullshit. Bullshit. You get what you ask for. Nobody, if you get angry because people are saying, dude, you guys are pushing more fear porn, you get pissed off about it. And then you get on camera and you talk shit about people. So people going to make videos about you and set it straight, because you blocked them just like Scott, so they cannot get their side out.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you know, going back to Jake and the conversation, if you can call it that we had yesterday, and then Jake gets straight after telling me that he's had, you know, he and Mari have both had enough of all the negativity. He calls it an energy siphon and all the rest of it, and they're not doing it anymore. He gets straight online, does a live stream, and starts talking about all of this stuff and how he's had Dazza the cameraman on his ass and all the rest of it. And as soon as I jump in the chat to defend myself, and I wasn't rude, I didn't attack him, I didn't, you know, didn't accuse him or anything like that. I just posted some comments. For example, I'd said to him, so have I lied to you, Jake? And, you know, his response immediately was to block me in the comments, accusing me of disrupting his chat.
That's the
well,
easy
there he
way.
was. Yeah, so there he was doing a live stream. He mentioned my name first, accusing me of being on his ass and all the rest of it. So there he was publicly dissing me, and as soon as I turn up in the chat to defend myself, he blocks me.
Exactly.
You know, as I say, I wasn't rude. I didn't attack him or anything like that. I just tried to, you know, defend myself. And yeah, I mean, he is a hypocrite. I know that he did not save that feed, although I recorded it while it was streaming. So I do have a copy. I just missed the first few minutes. You know, it's a shame he doesn't actually sit down and listen to everything that he said, because he sounded like a real hypocrite to me, because pretty much all of the things that he was saying about other people were really speaking to himself. In other words, talking about, you know, not responding with videos, and there he was responding with a video. Talking about all the negativity, and there he was being negative. You're talking about people blocking others like a coward, and there he was blocking people like a coward.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is response as a result. Jake, if you're going to block people from your chat, you can expect that they're going to do a live hangout to defend themselves and set the record straight. It's as simple as that.
Exactly.
And Twiggy just said, and I agree, Dazza is never rude. Never.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I rarely even see you curse. And a lot of times you'll excuse my language and then you'll type it, but it's, you know, I have a potty mouth. I don't care. I can control it as much as possible, but sometimes curse words just express how you feel much better to me. It just does. It really does. You know, I really, 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 I'm just boggled. This boggles my mind. You know, when I came back from the hospital, I didn't expect any of all this stuff to be going on. And then you find out that he's turned Ferguson in this field, which I already knew it. I knew they were both of those people. But they are on camera pretending that it's not them. That person, you know, they don't even show their face. What is this big thing with showing your face? You can go down to my video. I sing all the time with my face. You know what I mean? Yeah. Why do they feel like it makes them different because they're showing their face? That makes no sense. You know? And what I can't, everything I came back to, it was like, what the heck is going on around here? And it is definitely hypocrisy, because they're saying that people are using sock accounts when all of us know that they have tons of these accounts that they harass people with. They troll people all the time. So to say that people are doing it to them, they're doing it to other people. You can't do that. And you have to be a very honest and true person is willing to admit mistakes. You know what I mean? If you make a mistake, just, you know, I apologize. I'm sorry about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't hop on camera and fuck you and fuck you and fuck you. No, it doesn't work like that. That just makes you look stupid. Every time they do it, it makes them look more and more pathetic. It is pathetic. I felt sorry for Jake and Mari because I felt like they had fallen back into another trap after they got out of one. I don't feel sorry for them anymore. They want to believe this. They want to treat people like crap, like Scott treats people like crap. So then they're going to get the same treatment back. You get what you give. They act like people are just attacking them for no reason. They're fucking with people.
Yep. Well, all of those sock accounts, the Turd Ferguson account and all the rest of them. And, you know, they're trying to make it sound like they're as pure as the driven snow, that they don't mess with people and all the rest of it. And
bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what I call the victim mentality. Poor me. Poor me. No. If I do something wrong, I'm willing to admit it. When I was in Fact or Fiction, when we had that beef and stuff that happened where you and AL got booted out, I spoke to you guys personally, didn't I? I admitted, I apologized because it was so many emotions going on, and I told you guys straight up, right? I'm not ashamed to say that I make mistakes. I'm human. But I don't go around picking on people and picking fights with people and then hop on camera and play victim and block all the people that I'm claiming is doing something to me. That's exactly what Scott does.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But see, when it comes to the science denial in the climate, there's a lot of this in that community where they harass the crap out of climate scientists. You know, they claim that they're being harassed, but they're not. There's this one lady said they put her address. People were telling her, they was outside of her house, they was threatening scientists for doing science. It doesn't make any sense. It's ass backwards thinking. I feel like I'm in the dark age Twilight Zone. What, we're going to start persecuting the scientists next?
Mm.
You know, I just think if you dish it, you need to be able to take it.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that I don't bother nobody. I don't bother anybody. All I do is make videos debunking the Bureau and videos about climate change. I don't comment. I don't say you're wrong on this. I don't do any of that. You know what I mean? I don't call anybody out personally. I don't do anything like that. But last night made me say, you know, it's about time for you to have your rant. I've been putting this off after what they did to me when I did that interview. Me and Mari were very close. And then whenever, for no reason whatsoever, but I believe different, that they did what they did with me, that shows what type of person they are. You know what I mean? And then, you know, for me to try, my goal at first was to say, look, you guys are being lied to. You don't see this, you're being lied to. We got this whole giant conspiracy again. Here we go again. You know what I mean? But if I'm going to be, my channel is going to be attacked for putting up lectures and videos about climate change, then I'm going to debunk it directly. I'm going to go straight to the source and I'm going to debunk it piece by piece by piece. I'm done playing games. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. How much do they think this community is supposed to take from them?
Mm.
It'll only go so far before it bites them back in the arse.
It already has. Every time it does.
Yeah, but even
get caught and then they leave YouTube. They get caught doing something and they leave YouTube, and then we'll be back and oh God, they just did all this stuff to us. Stop fucking with people.
Yeah, as I said to Jake yesterday, that he has actually alienated himself, or they have alienated themselves from the wider community. Yeah. You know, they had the support of of a large number of people. And, you know, bit by bit, they've managed to alienate everybody. And now Jake, of course, I was trying to remain neutral. I could see what was going on. I could see from both sides. I could understand why people were upset with Jake and Murray, but, you know, I tried to remain neutral and tried to be friendly. But as I say, when I go to him directly, ask him a straight question and get my head bitten off, well, as I said to him yesterday, Jake, you know, you're alienating yourself from everyone by doing this.
Yes. Yep. And then to say, this is the biggest thing that got me. What are your credentials? How long have you been researching this? What are your credentials? Ben Scott did it to them, and it was not right when he did it to them. No. No, it's not right when they do it to us, but we're going to do it to you. He was in the Vortex group asking people for credentials. You know what I mean? Vortex is a group of some of the smartest people I have ever seen in my life. There are some very intelligent people in that group.
Yep.
Very. They talk about stuff that is way over my head. I'm not afraid to admit it. It does, because we all can't be experts at everything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, according to them, they're experts at everything.
I tried. I can't. I'll give myself that. I tried. I was quiet for it's been months and months since that originally happened, and, you know, questioning my research and all that kind of stuff, when there was a video that they did while I was in the chat saying Tiffany should be paid. I wish we had enough money to pay. Tiffany should be paid, you know what I mean, for what she's doing. But when I tell them that this guy is lying, Tiffany doesn't know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
That's just not right. It is very hypocritical.
Yeah.
Very. I think that we've had a good chat today. I had a whole bunch of other stuff I was going to go over, but I think that this hangout here, I wish more people could have come in, you know, that they to voice, you know, how they feel about this stuff, you know what I mean? But I think that I'll do my videos separately, and, you know, not take a very long time on this video. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to acknowledge something that Twiggy said there. You know, it's rather funny. They done a video a couple of weeks ago.
I'm going to read the chat.
Yeah, they done a video a couple of weeks ago where Jack and Mary were actually in bed streaming live, and they're bitching from the bedroom.
Oh,
Did you see that one, Dazza?
No, I didn't.
No, it was rather.
I'm sorry. Anybody who tries to debunk the Ice Age will debunk it. Anybody. You cannot say that you tried, because you didn't do any research on climate change, obviously. If you think that you cannot debunk the grand solar minimum, that is predicted, that is not happening right now. You cannot say that you tried to debunk it. They don't know anything about climate change. The biggest thing that climate deniers need to learn is the difference between climate and weather. That is like the biggest thing. They need to learn that global warming and climate change does not mean that it's not going to be cold. It's going to be cold as hell in the wintertime. It actually means that during the winter, more than likely in the northern North America and in Europe, they're going to get very brutal winters, but the winters are going to become shorter, as they already are. I have I'm going to put put my new information out, but I already have information on, we've had 2 years without a winter here in America. You might have a few storms. Chicago, for the first time, did not receive any snow all the way up until February. We had the warmest winter on record last year. But hey, it's snowing like hell over there. Ice age is coming. No, that's not how climate change works. That's why I say, if you really, really, research climate change, then you will know that everything that they are saying is happening. This stuff they predicted a long time ago. They predicted that when it got cold, it will be cold. You know what I mean? That's all it takes is to read the papers. If you can't understand the peer-reviewed papers, there are people who write about the peer-reviewed papers. These people will accept, they'll answer your questions via email. It's not very hard to understand it. You know what I mean? But that's the biggest thing that deniers have, is they don't understand weather is what's happening today outside. Climate is measured over a 30-year period. It is not, and in global, you cannot say it's cold here today where I live at, or we didn't have, you know, this month, August, you know, there's a lot of the deniers are going on about August being a cooler month than usual, but that is happening in certain places. It's global warming is global. That's what the word means. It means the global temperature, not the temperature in New York City. It doesn't work that way.
Exactly, exactly. I have a question here in the chat. Why Bother asks, what makes Lee Hamburger such an expert in climate change? Dazza, do you want to answer that?
I'm probably not placed to answer that. I know that he's an inventor that's you know, he's been involved in thermal imaging cameras and things apparently. What makes him an expert in climate change? Well, you know, what makes me an expert in astronomy? I'm an amateur astronomer. I don't know what Lee's background is. I probably really couldn't answer that question fairly.
I think
the problem with being an expert is that you don't make mistakes on stuff that experts should know.
Yeah, and it's quite funny going back to that original exchange months ago. The statements that Lee was making, you were able to debunk them instantly,
immediately,
with you know 30 seconds of research on YouTube. I remember one of the links that he sent me to justify his claims was from David Icke. Exactly. You know, the guy that says that the Queen is a lizard.
They're all reptiles everywhere.
Yeah, reptilians. That's what, yeah.
And that's when I was like, for God's sake, that's when I was done. You know, and then it went from putting his evidence to just being rude to me.
Yeah. And when he sent me that link from David Icke, any credibility that I thought he might have completely evaporated.
I'm not surprised.
And then the John Casey. John Casey is a horrible person to talk to about climate change.
He's a fraud.
An absolute fraud.
He's definitely a huge fearmonger.
Easterbrook, this guy, I have a 3-part that Dr. Strong did about that Easterbrook guy. You know, he put that great global warming swindle video. It has been debunked thoroughly. See, when you're doing research, you look at both sides of the information, and you compare the evidence. You don't just say, this person said this, so it must be true. I'm not going to watch a video about an incoming ice age without watching a video of the person that debunks it. I want to see both sides. Doing proper research, you cannot have a confirmation bias. You cannot go in it saying, this is what I believe, and I don't really care what this says. I'm still going to believe it anyway. No, you change your mind with evidence. That's how it works. You know?
Well, you know,
Neil deGrasse Tyson said, not once in my life have I ever seen science being denied so much. You know, that video, his emotions were out there. He was like, I just don't understand this. You know what I mean? The evidence is solid, and they keep trying to say, no, the evidence. Yes, it is. It is. And no amount of saying it's not is going to change the fact that everything they predicted 30 years ago is happening right now. Everything that they said was going to happen is happening. When you look into the ice age, if you're going into a grand solar minimum, then you have to look at more than just the Maunder minimum. You have to look at the whole thing. You've got to look at what temperature was it, what was happening during that time, all that kind of stuff. It was already cold. So for me, I don't understand how you can just say, I know that a Maunder minimum will put us in an ice age when we are warmer, much warmer than it was back then, because it was already cold. And then the ice age still lasted long after the Maunder minimum. We are in a completely different climate right now. You cannot compare it. And when you look at the papers, the peer-reviewed papers that have been done on it, it says, multiple papers, that if we indeed do go into a grand solar minimum, it will only it will only reduce 3/10. I'm going to tell you exact, I got a lot of this stuff wrote down. It said that it will only offset a decade of global warming, or about 3/10 of a degree Celsius, or a half a degree Fahrenheit. Global temperatures are already more than 1 degree Celsius, or about 2 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than the Little Ice Age. So it's going to be negligible. It's not going to stop climate change. I feel, you know what, to be honest, I know I just be going on and on, guys. I'm sorry.
In the last several weeks, I've been noticing a number of posts on my Facebook news feed of my Northern Hemisphere friends complaining about the extreme heat.
It's bad.
Saying, I'm melting here right now. I remember even Logan did a video where he was using a digital infrared thermometer, and he was measuring the temperature of a car. It obviously was very hot. I remember I think it was in Arizona, the airplanes were grounded because it was too hot for them to take off.
Yeah.
I remember another post about plastic letterboxes and so on were actually melting in heat.
Oh yes, those big trash cans, they were melting.
Yeah, sounds like an ice age to me.
Europe had a really bad heat wave. That heat wave went on over here in the west of America for a long time. It went on for a very long time.
That doesn't sound like an ice age to me.
No, it doesn't. No. Europe also had a huge heat wave there.
This is another thing. Like I had touched base on it a little bit earlier. To say that cosmic rays are causing extreme weather makes absolutely no sense, because we go through solar minimum all the time. We had a solar minimum at the beginning of cycle 24. It lasted 2 years longer. No cold. Keep warming. It just keeps going. And then another thing is, global warming does not mean that every year and every month is going to be hotter than the next. That's not how it works either. But if cosmic rays really had an effect on the weather, every time we've had a solar minimum, we should have the extreme weather that we have right now. I actually went back to cycle 14 because that's one of the cycles that this cycle 24 was compared to. And I can look at this right now, and I can count how I looked up the extreme weather events that happened. None of them, these even compare to today, but from the solar cycle 24 lasted from 1902 to 1913. There was, I'm going to count right quick.
Sorry, which cycle was that?
Hold on. there were cycle 14. It was from 1902 to 1913. There were less than 20 extreme weather events that happened during that 11-year cycle. We are having extreme weather events every single day.
Yeah.
Now that cycle is compared to this one. When you say it was lowest, this cycle is the lowest in 100 years. 100 years ago, we was in cycle 14. So if cosmic rays are causing extreme weather, if they're causing the planet to warm and all this kind of stuff, then during the cycle that is like this one, the same stuff should be happening, and it's not. How do you explain that? You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff that I look at. You have to look at everything. Now I see that they're going with Dr. Albers and her theory that the particles from the cosmic rays are going into the planet and warming the planet. So now global warming is happening. Now we are warming, but we're not causing it. You know, I think that's the big problem, is these people don't want to admit that human activity is causing it. The biggest part is, and I don't know how, there's no way I'm going to believe people who are hired by the fossil fuel industry to tell me that an ice age is coming.
Yeah.
I'm not going to believe those people over the actual climate scientists. What sense does that make? They're getting paid to say what they say. There's merchants of doubt that has exposed them. Greenpeace exposed them by pretending to be an oil company and asking these scientists, will they, you know, write such and such for them? And they told them, I'll do it for this much money or this much money. These people are bought.
Yeah.
These people are bought and paid for. John Casey is bought and paid for. It's just, I don't understand it. But I know that if you're going to talk about my channel, if you're going to talk about my research, then I'm going to come back with my research and I'm going to debunk it. Then that's it. That's it. I think that I should be, that is my right to do. If you talk about me, then I should be able to counter that.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but if you're going to be blocked, like Jake has been doing, if you're going to be blocked on his channel so that you can't defend yourself directly in the chat, then this is exactly the sort of response he should expect.
Yes. And this is what I'm going to do every time.
Yeah.
Every time my channel is mentioned, I'm going to do a hangout. And I have tons of information. I haven't even gotten started yet. I'm trying to go slowly to put the information so people can learn with that and then give them more. You know what I mean? I could post 5 or 6, 7, 8 videos like Scott does all day, because that's how much information there is on climate change out there. There is a lot. Information on the grand solar minimum ice age. You're going to find the same videos, the same crap. They're going to talk about TSI. That's all they're going to do. They're going to put up graphs from the same people that they say are doing conspiracies. Now, when you say this is the same thing as flat earth, it is the same thing as Nibiru. When you say that there's a conspiracy in climate change, you're saying that every climate scientist who says that is happening, every organization, NASA, NOAA, the IPCC, hundreds of organizations around the world, you're saying that all these people have conspired to lie about global warming. For what? What is the reason? So they're lying to us so they can, how dare, this is what I said, how dare these scientists try to lie to us so we can use our technology to have a better planet? How dare they do that to us? There is no reason for it, because global warming is causing extreme weather that is killing people right now. So they can't say that they're lying about the ice age because of that, because either way, it looks bleak. But the difference is we can do something about climate change. There are solutions. There are many, many, many jobs It will create a lot of jobs, renewable energy will. You know what I mean? So when people ask, what difference does it make? You know, it makes a difference to me because, like I said, these people are hindering the progress of this planet. We have to evolve with this planet, or it's going to just say, forget y'all, get the hell off of here. The planet is not going to completely die. It's going to get rid of what's killing it.
Is that
sorry, my dog is barking. Sorry.
Was that Mark in the background barking? You know, just when I can get a chance to speak.
I'm sorry. I told y'all I was going to rant. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure has. I'm glad you've now got it out of your system.
Be quiet.
I just want to say, due to the impending, what do you call it? What's the name? Oh, it's now one out of my head.
Sorry.
That's all right. I will come back to it. I've forgotten.
I'm sorry. That's what you get for picking at me. See what happens? Well, I think I'm gonna get off of here though. I need to make me some dinner. Logan is here. Hi, Logan.
Hey, Logan.
Might get a little interesting here. Logan, you want to get in here? I know you got some stuff you want to get off your chest. Anybody else want to say anything? You can get on here, or I can read what you have to say since you've been blocked and you can't say, you know, give your side. Or you can send me the stuff and I can make videos for you guys. However you want to do it, it's fine with me.
I was just going to say, due to the impending ice age, you know, I just want everybody to stock up on their Eskimo suits. So if you want to go over to the Anonymous channel, they're $49.99. So please just send me your size, and I will get them posted out in about 50 to 100 years. I do take PayPal. I just thought I would plug that.
Simon says, you know what I want? What do you want, Simon? I'm waiting. What I think, this is the main thing that I feel like people should understand about climate change. It's going to be very hot. It's going to be very cold. It's going to be very hot in places, very cold, very dry, very wet. It's going to be fires. All this stuff is going to happen together. Global warming does not mean that it will not be cold. It will be really cold. With the Arctic ice melting, with it warming, the polar vortex sends all that cold air down to North America, Europe, Russia, and all that kind of stuff. These areas are going to have to expect some brutal winters, you know what I mean, as it progresses. It does not mean it will not get cold.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, you stressed the point that we're talking about global. So yes, you're going to have hot summers, you're going to have cold winters, but the overall global temperature, the average temperature, that's the other key word, is average, is going to be warming. And that is, in fact, what we are seeing. We're seeing often, we are seeing year on year record high global average temperatures. And we're also seeing month on month records.
Yes.
That's right.
So the two key words.
July, I think July was the 2nd, I think. But in some places, even in Florida where certain people live, it was the hottest ever. Hottest ever recorded. There are temperature records being broken
in recent
every
months.
day.
Even here in New Zealand in recent months, we've had record high temperatures, and we've had also record high average temperatures for the month, and those have been month on month as well. And we're seeing extreme weather events even here just, well, must be about 2 months ago now, there was record flooding not very far away from where I live. It destroyed hundreds of homes that were flooded out when a river burst at Stop Bank, flooded part of a town, and they're still trying to clean that up today.
And they're calling it billion-dollar weather. You know,
yeah.
Here in America, we're every day. There's something every day. The extreme weather here is horrible, and we're number 2 on the list of, you know, countries that have the most CO2 in there. They're pulling out of the thing, but the Paris Accord, but even the insurance companies are now starting to do lectures and stuff to say, because they're trying to say that they're going to save money, but this billion-dollar weather ain't saving anything, and it's killing people.
Mm.
I know a couple of weeks ago, if even that, and somewhere in the Middle East, I do believe it was Kuwait, the temperature hit 60 degrees Celsius.
Mm.
So the palm trees were going on fire by themselves.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some really weird stuff happening.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. You know, when I see temperatures up around 50 degrees Celsius, even, that's quite scary to me, because I think about this. You know, here, you know, we use Celsius here in New Zealand. I know you use Fahrenheit in the US, but 55 degrees Celsius is the temperature that they say that you should have your hot water set to. So it's a good hot temperature to make sure that things are hot enough for killing bugs or whatever. But it's not so hot that you're going to scald your hands. But even at 55 degrees Celsius, that water is so darn hot, you know, I wouldn't want to keep my hands under the water.
Exactly.
Now, I know that there's a difference between, you know, water, which has, you know, the temperature conductivity of water is rather different to air. But I mean, 50 degrees Celsius is still very hot. And of course, you know, we know what it's like when you get into a car on a hot day, and everything's so much hotter inside. You touch the steering wheel, and you can't hold the steering wheel because it's so hot.
Right.
You know, and that's on maybe a day with the temperature in the high 20s or low 30s.
Yeah. You see, where I live in the southeast United States, and we can get some pretty warm temperatures here. You know, I don't think you guys are used to having, you know, 100-degree weather, but that happens here. But we have winter. Like the average winter temperature, I think, was like 50 or something like that. We didn't have a winter last year. We did not have a winter. It was 70 degrees in December and January. In January, we was hitting 80-degree temperatures. We did not get a winter at all here. I did not have to put on a jacket the entire winter. We did not get one.
That's crazy.
You know, even though we're in the South, we still do, you know, get some cold weather and chilly nights, and we get our little snowstorms. Or I don't call it snow. We get ice here. It usually just thick ice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everything is completely, it rains here all the time. I'm very lucky to be in an area where I haven't seen any flooding so far. And a lot of times, some of the really bad storms that veer around us, there might be a tornado up the street or something like that. But a lot of things that have become rare are not anymore. 100-year floods, 1,000-year floods. These things are happening repeatedly. You know, it's very obvious that climate change is real. It's very obvious.
Of course it is.
You know, it is very extremely obvious. And I just don't understand the denial of it. You know, I think a big part of it is politics. You know, the conservatives, if the liberals or the Democrats are saying one thing, they just say the opposite. It doesn't matter. You know, And that, to me, that's basically what's happening here. And then the, the spokesmen, as I like to call them, the representatives, they say certain things. And then the people, the voters and stuff like that, they believe it. And then they start pushing it without doing accurate research on it. And then when they look at the research, it's all, I really don't understand why people can't grasp how hard it would be to have this giant conspiracy. I really don't get it.
Yes, it's actually coming to a point now that anyone that does live in a floodplain area, especially here in the UK, they are having problems of getting insurance for their home, and home insurance, building insurance, content insurance, and it's going to come to a point that you'd just not be able to get any sort of insurance for your home.
Yeah, I heard about that too, where people were saying that they're getting denied for flood insurance.
Yeah.
Mm.
When it's for floods, that's bad. That's really bad.
Yeah.
And it is due to climate change.
Yeah.
It's plain to be seen all around us. Anybody that denies climate change is not happening really needs their head looked at. They really do.
Yeah. It's some, see, I've always been, since where I live at, we have tornadoes and things like that. And growing up, my mom was terrified of thunderstorms. She'd make us sit on the couch and go hide. Like, I would be like, oh, so we don't matter? So, when I see something that I'm afraid of, I've been doing this since I was a kid. I look into it and see it, and weather is very fascinating to me. So being a person that has watched the weather, I've watched it change. You know what I mean? So when they said that this ice age means that global warming isn't real, that's when I did a pause right there. Wait a minute. Okay, no. Because I was a believer in global warming before this. This isn't nothing new or anything like that. I just, being an empath, it makes me very angry when I know that something could be done and there's people out there who are stopping it, who are just out there and they don't even care that there's proof that these people are paid to sow doubt. That would be a really big red flag for me. I'm getting information from somebody who's paid to give that information by the people who are causing climate change. Just like the cigarettes. Cigarettes don't cause cancer. They also said opioids aren't addictive. It's an epidemic here in America. Opioids are an epidemic, addiction, killing people, overdosing here. They said, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. My mom died from lung cancer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun. I have that too.
Yeah.
Just, Daz, a quick question for you. Twiggy wants to know, was the moon simulator eclipsing the sun simulator?
Yes, I saw that comment, Twiggy, and laughed to myself.
That is really funny to me because I keep trying to find it. We've got the SDO. We've got all this stuff pointing at the sun. We have telescopes. Where is this thing at? It has to be so perfect that is in front of the sun, right? Is it supposed to be behind the sun or in front of the? If it's a sun simulator, then it should be in front of the sun, correct? At all times, it should be facing the earth. So you should see it and not that thing on the ISS, For a while, I thought that was a sun simulator. That thing drove me nuts. That thing drove me nuts. What the heck is that?
Tiffany, the sun and the moon's only 3,500 miles away. Did you not know that?
Oh my God. Oh, I've seen one where they said that they're basically light bulbs. And I had a flat earther get really angry with me when I sent a picture of a basketball up close and it looked flat and it said basketballs are flat. And then when I sent him that, literally this guy sent me a picture of every planet in our solar system round and the Earth was flat. Oh my goodness. And then, you know, they're taking this very far. This flat Earth thing is going very, very far. Dazzy, you deal with it all the time. I couldn't deal with those people. It's too funny to me because you can go up there. There's ways to send your cameras. You can figure out. I think last year sometime, I think I seen something that said that there was this, I don't want to call it a balloon. I don't know what to call it, but you could pay $75,000 and it would basically take you up near space or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And then they was getting mad at me about that too. I was like, you know, it's enough of you guys to come together to do some real research to go and prove that it's flat. And then, okay, if you go up so far, then you should be able to at least see the wall, this ice wall that's supposed to be around us.
Yeah.
Where is that wall? Dave, where is the wall?
Ah, yeah, well, I'm down in New Zealand. You'd think I'd be a bit close enough to see it, but yeah.
Well, can I just answer that, you know, surely if there's an ice wall round a flat Earth, would melt that ice wall and we'd all fall off, would we not?
Yeah.
That is true.
You know that they've got armed guards down at the Antarctic disguised as penguins protecting the ice wall.
I believe the Germans is having a lot to do with the Antarctic at the moment.
Well, Germany has always been very interested in Antarctica from Nazi times.
Didn't they send the Germans down there to fight the Anunnaki?
Oh my God, I don't know.
They're after the gold.
Wow.
Yes, I'm very interested in Antarctica because at one point it was not ice, and I do think that it is the only continent that has not been mined. And they might be mining it. You never know. They might be able to get down in there now. I don't know. But I do think that is a big reason that they go there. Just like I seen something recently saying that they're getting ready to go to the moon to mine.
Mm.
There's titanium on the moon, and there's stuff on the moon shouldn't be there. It's weird. The moon is very weird. But they did say that they're going to the moon to mine. They want to mine asteroids and things like that. They want to, eventually in the future, they want to be able to do stuff like that. So they're supposed to be going to mine, but it's like 2,000 miles, I think, from where they've landed. Like they've never been there before. So some kind of way they know that there's the titanium and all that kind of stuff there. I think the moon is very, very interesting.
If they mine a flat moon, you know, they're going to fall through it very quickly, aren't they?
You know, they found bones on the moon.
Oh my God, that picture that you made a video about Mars and Secure Team 10, and it was shit.
Yeah, they found bones on the moon. The cow didn't quite make it.
That's a good one. There's one about the flat Earth that says, "Where do fish go when they fall off the edge of the Earth?" Trouter space.
Yeah.
It's so corny.
North Koreans go to the sun at night time when it's not too hot.
Yeah, that's the best time to go.
Yeah.
And they're also saying that during the next solar maximum, cycle 25, will be the best time for them to try to get to Mars. I saw that the other day too.
Sorry, what?
They do,
repeat that again, Tiffany.
They said that during the solar max cycle of 25, our next solar cycle, that would be the best time for them to try to send people to Mars, because during solar max, the Earth protects, the sun protects more from the cosmic rays and stuff like that, because it can affect the people, and it can affect the machines and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
the worst thing you would want to happen while trying to go to Mars is, something knocks out everything or hurt somebody or something like that.
I've never heard that before, but I do know that there is a period of around every, correct me if I'm wrong, Dazza, but it's every 16 to 18 months you can, when the Earth is at its closest point to Mars, that is the right time to go.
Yeah, it's approximately every 2 years. I can't remember the exact figure, but yeah, it's as the Earth, because the Earth is on the inside of the orbit of Mars. So as the Earth comes around and is catching up to Mars in its orbit, right, is the best time, because obviously Mars would be a lot further away at other times. So it's a game of playing catch up with Mars.
Yeah, that's correct.
Do you think
so it's approximately
they're able to get there, Dazza? Do you think they'll ever go?
I think it's a pretty big task. The moon is only a hop, skip, and a jump away from the Earth. It took us 3 days to get from we landed on the 4th day. Yeah. So it's a very short distance. Now the moon is 384,000 kilometers away on average, but it takes, I believe it's about 8 months to travel, the shortest time to travel from the Earth to Mars. That's an awful long time to be in a little spaceship that's, it's going to be like a little minivan or something like that. And of course, you've got to have all your food and water and means to recycle and, oxygen and all of that sort of thing. And then, of course, you've got to sustain yourself when you get there. And you're not going to be coming back for at least 2 years. I think it's a pretty major task, and I'm just not sure if I'll see it in my lifetime, but who knows?
I don't think I'll see it in my lifetime, but I know a few months ago I was reading up on it that Elon Musk, or Musk, or however you want to pronounce it, has said that he will be the first one that will send himself off to Mars.
Well, I think, and then he just Galactic North just took the words out of my mind. He said, I don't think going to Mars is worth it. He said it's a dead planet. Asteroid mining is better. When I think of, I feel like the money could be used for what we need it for right now. We have a lot going on our own planet, and it's not like we can go and live on Mars. So I feel like we should be working for this planet. We already have $6 trillion the Pentagon has lost, and nobody brought it up ever again. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's a lot that needs to be done to solve our problems with climate change. And I feel like that money could be used. We also have an issue with healthcare here in America, and I just feel like money goes to weird stuff sometimes. I'm all for going to space, you know what I mean? I'm all for venturing, but I also feel like there should be a timing for things like that. If we're broke, how are we getting the money to do this stuff?
Yeah, exactly. And I feel the same way. We've got bigger problems on this planet that we need to be pouring money into, including climate change, and also about poverty, because let's face it, there's no excuse for poverty on this planet. There's so much wealth that so many people have a disgusting amount of wealth, and there's just no excuse for it. There really isn't. There's always money
much as they say. They make it seem like poverty would cost a whole lot of money to solve, and it won't. You know, getting people clean water is not a really big task, of, you know, cost a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? There definitely poverty is a really big one. That you guys know Stephen Colbert. You guys are from the UK, you probably don't know, but my American friends will. He's a late night talk show host. And he made a comment and said, you know, if America is going to be a Christian nation that doesn't help the poor, then they need to say that Jesus was full of shit and he didn't care about the poor, or that we just don't give a shit about what Jesus wanted. You know what I mean? Because the Christians or, you know, that's what it's centered around, what Jesus taught. But, you know, I've had people say, fuck the poor. What? That is just, you cannot, to me, be a Christian and say, any religion, and say things like that, you know?
The thing is, right, America, the UK, European countries, Australia, New Zealand, very wealthy, have poured billions upon billions into poverty. And it's the corrupt government and government officials, right down to the actual police forces, that actually pocket the money, and it's never seen again.
And, you know, the organizations like Red Cross and a lot of these organizations that, you know, you see them on TV, send some money. Most of that stuff does not go to the people. It does not.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You're exactly right. And I think it's absolutely disgusting that in today's society, that, and just as Dazza said earlier, there is no need for poverty in this world.
No.
No need for it whatsoever.
There's no reason. You know, there are people who have billions and billions of dollars, and it won't even hurt their pocket one bit to help people at all.
But how many more billions is it going to take? Is it going to sort poverty out? Because hundreds of billions has already been spent.
Yeah, but they say that they're spending billions. I don't think that they are. I think that if you really wanted to solve poverty, you would.
You know, they reckon it's going to be...
that is very possible.
Yeah. But they reckon now it's going to be by 2030 where everybody in the world has actually got safe drinking water. That shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know, everybody...
It doesn't cost a whole lot to dig, to do the wells, to, you know, the like where I live, we have a well. We don't have city water. We have a well, you know. Really? I live out in the country. I love it out here. And we have a well, you know.
Yeah.
It's very possible. I think that people pretend to care, but they really don't. People care about what is affecting them, basically. People don't really zoom out and, you know, like with climate change, when it's not affecting people, it doesn't really set in for them. That was a big reason why I started the What's Wrong with the World series, because there's flooding happening everywhere. There's droughts. There's, you know, this is extremely important, because if we don't do something about it, once sea level starts rising, there are places that there are millions and millions of people who are not going to have somewhere to live. That causes migration. Look at the problem we're having right now with the refugees trying to get away from war.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen when, you know, there's food shortages and there's people they don't have anywhere to live anymore. It's places like Bangladesh, those places like that are going to be the ones really, really bad hit. Now, I don't know about New Zealand. I really don't know much about New Zealand, but I do know, I did a lot of they've been studying India and Bangladesh, Indonesia a lot, and it's already affecting these people. badly.
Mm.
And I don't know how you can watch it, you know, watch these people suffering and going through all this and just don't care. It doesn't bother most people. For me, it makes me want to act. It makes me want to, especially when I know something can be done.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when you know that something can be done, you advocate for it. That's the reason why I do my videos. I don't do my videos to debunk them. I will debunk them because they make me mad. You know, because to me, it's not worth it. You know, my channel is for education. If you notice, I try to keep a lot of that negativity and drama off my channel. I'm just trying to educate people because I know that a lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people don't think it's solid science when it is, you know what I mean? So that is my goal, to show what's happening, to show the evidence of it. And also my next video is going to be about a lot of the solutions. I've been putting together videos for climate change solutions. I have one about the coal myth. You know what I mean? There's a lot that I have. I just don't, like, I've been really sick. I'm going through all this stuff, but even feeling bad, my health, you guys know very well that I go through a lot with my health. And even when I'm saying how horrible I feel, I still have that urge. You know, I can't help it. I have the urge to help people.
Yeah.
You know, to educate people. I did want to be a teacher growing up and stuff like that. And that's something that I'm going to go into, teaching history, you know, online. But that is the main goal of my channel, is to educate. And if people have a problem with my channel, that means that they have a problem with education. That's it. If you don't agree with climate change, then don't watch my videos, because I don't watch theirs. If they think that I'm doing what I'm doing just to spite them, it's not. It is because this is what I want. This is what I feel is the right thing to do. I'm a truther. I'm not a truther just about Nibiru. You can't be a truther about one subject and then don't pay attention to the other. You know, I feel like everybody has gotten engrossed in this Nibiru, and we know for a fact Nibiru is not real. We know that it's not going to bother us, but we know that climate change is. So that's a big reason why I haven't been doing the Nibiru videos anymore, because I know that's not real, but climate change is real. And I feel like there's information that needs to be getting out there, and I'm going to do it. And I don't care who gets angry about it. I don't care.
No, you're very good at what you do, Tiffany. And like everybody in the chat, myself, Dazza, we all know that you put a lot of effort into everything you do. And
Very thorough.
Everything, yes. And
Thank
you're
you.
very good. And you're one of the best people online that does what they do. And you know, you've got our backing. You've definitely got my backing, and I'll support you in every way I can.
And I appreciate that. You know, they can say what they want about us. They can try to paint us in a bad light, but we support each other. The only time we do things like this, or make videos talking about somebody, is to defend ourselves. We don't just make videos just to mess with people. We make videos to defend ourselves.
Exactly. We do. You know.
Okay, well, we were approaching the 2-hour mark, and I said like an hour ago we were going to stop. So I am going to put this video back up, but I'm going to go in and put it together for a good hangout. I'm going to do that and put it back up. Make sure there's nothing that they can try to strike me on, because they're being petty and panties are all in a bunch for no reason whatsoever. But before I go, I just want to say to the people who are talking about my channel, who are talking about all the people in the troll group and all the people in the chat, and whoever you're talking about, nobody cares. Nobody cares. When I say I don't care, I don't care. So if, you know, when you do things out of spite, it shows who you really are. And I just want you to know, I don't care. I don't give a shit. So with that said, good night, guys. Dave and Anonymous, thanks, guys, for joining me. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tiffany.
You guys have a good night. Good night, chat. Good night, guys. Love you all. Love you, love you, love you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.